Today, let's learn about arrangements. These are a type of questions in logical reasoning where we deal with things which are in some sort of a arrangement. Maybe it would be around a round table arranged in some manner like this. Maybe they can be things arranged in a straight row or anything. But we are given some clues about how the things are arranged, and based on those clues we have to find out which thing is where, what the property of that thing is it facing outwards, is it facing inwards, is the second thing's color blue, etc, etc. And based on that info that we get, we have to solve a series of questions. Doing this might seem easy, but there are a few tricks that you can use to make solving these type of questions much faster. The first thing is that you should know how to process the clues in order. So even though the clues might be given, the first clue, the second clue, the third clue, all those clues don't come in handy in the order that they are given most of the time. Maybe the fourth clue is the most useful first. Then after you get that info, you move to the clue number 2, which is related to fourth clue, and now you have even more info about the arrangement itself, and so on. So this is the first thing that you should know, that you should go read all the clues first and then decide on which clues to use first and then which clues to use next. Second skill that you need when solving this type of questions is you should be able to convert these clues into some sort of a visual representation. Maybe if there's a point saying that Rohan goes to cycling the day before he goes for running, so you might represent that by something like that. Writing your clues in such a visual manner will help you look at all your different clues one uh, in one go, and will help you quickly so understand what the arrangement is. Third thing, you should also be able to deduce things which are not given obviously in the clues. So, for example, if you know that there are four different cards, let us say there are four different cards, each of them a different color. One of them maybe red, then another one maybe pink, and so on. And then you got to know that the first one is red, the second one is blue, and then maybe after some more clues you got to know that the fourth one is the purple one. Then since you know that these all the colors have been taken by this one should be the remaining color. It should be blue. So deducing things that are not obvious by the clues, representing your clues in a visual way, and also in getting to know which clues are the most useful first. So all these skills come by practice. So the best way to learn about linear arrangements is by solving some questions. So let's get into it. So let's see this example question. Jack attends classes for science, English, Hindi, and arts and maths from Monday to Saturday, one day being a holiday. So that means that there are 6 days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And he attends five different classes, and one day is a rest day, a holiday. So we have to find out which class is on which of of these days. So let's go clue by clue. Hindi class is neither on the first day nor on the last day, but is conducted before English. So now you know that Hindi cannot be here. It also cannot be here, since it's not neither on the first day, neither on the last day. But it is also conducted before English. So let's just write it something like that. Hindi is always conducted before English. Arts class is on the immediate next day of the English class. So we have this English class here, and the arts class is on the immediate next day of the English class. So that means Hindi is also conducted before arts and before English. So that means Hindi also cannot go here, since Hindi needs at least two spaces afterwards for arts and English, right? So one more clue we got over here. So we have used this. Now, science class is on the immediate previous day of the holiday. So this clue is not immediately helpful, but let's just write it down over here. So we have the science class immediately previous day of the holiday. So holiday, let's write like this as well. Then arts class and maths class have a gap of 2 days between them. So the arts class and the maths class have at least two different days between them. So there is the arts class, then there is the maths class. They have a gap of 2 days. And actually, this can be here and here as well. It is not given that arts comes before maths. So it's just that these both have a 2 day gap between them, not necessarily arts coming first. So this also not immediately helpful, but might come in handy. So now maths class is on the next day of the holiday. So now we know that maths class is on the next day of the holiday, right? So now we know that we have science, then we have a holiday, and then we have the maths class. These three come in a line. Since we do not did not get any clues on where each of the class is specifically, we might have to try some things out. But now since we know that there is at least a 2 day gap between the maths and the arts class, and the arts class has to have the English class and the holiday before it. There must be, and these three things come in, uh, and these three things are consecutive, right? So these three things we know will come one after the other. So there will be science, there will be the holiday, and then there will be the maths. So now, first thing, if we know that there is a 2 day gap over here, and we fill in the science class and the holiday in here, then the thing is there is we occupy these four spaces. So the arts will have to come over here if this is the arrangement we are going with, right? And then you know that arts also needs English and Hindi before it. So we get English class over here, the immediate previous day, and the Hindi class over here before that. And then we have the science, the holiday, and then the maths class. But if you see, Hindi cannot come on the first day, right? So this arrangement is contradicting the first clue. So this is not possible. So that means we cannot fill in this science class and holiday between the maths and the arts class. So that means maths has to come before arts. So it's actually this way around. So we know that it's maths, a 2 day holiday, and the arts class. So let's just write it here. We have the maths class, we have the arts class, and then we have the 2 days holiday. Now, before maths, we know it's the holiday and the English class. And before arts, we know it's immediately the English. Sorry, this one is science. And over here, we know that the only thing that is left is Hindi will come. So this arrangement satisfies all of the given clues. And now we know that on Monday we have the science class, then the holiday, then the maths class, then the Hindi, followed by English, and finally the arts class. So sometimes in these type of questions, as you just saw, you might have to try something out and then see that if any of the clues gets contradicted, and if that is the case, then you can go with another approach. In this, we tried with having arts and maths, but then we found out that if this approach is there, then the Hindi will have to come on the first day, which is not possible. So therefore, we know that it's maths, then arts, and therefore we got the arrangement for all the subjects. Let's try another question. So, in a row of students facing north, so there is a row of students, a long row of students. This is, let's say, this is the end of the row. This is the end of the right. This is the right end of the row, and this is the left end of the row. there are a lot of students standing here. So we have L, and all of them are facing north. L is the eighth to the right of K. So there is a student named L. So let's have L, and he is on the right of K, and he is on the right of K. Sorry. So K, and on the right of K we have L, and he's eighth to the right means there are seven more students between them. So we use the first rule. Now we have M is 16th from the left end. So from this end, we know that there are 15 students, and then there is this M guy. Let's make the students in the boxes. We don't know what comes here. We don't know what comes here. Then we know that L is 16th to the right of J, who is 27th from the right end of the row. So L, which is this guy, is 16th to the right of J. So there is a J somewhere on the left of L, and L is 16 to the right, and J himself is 27th from the right end of the row. So now that gives us a lot of information. So we know, so now we know that there is a J over here, right? And between J, between J and L, we have 15 students. And then J himself is 27th from the right end. So that means if we exclude, so there will be 26 students between the right end and J. So 16 of them being here. After the L, there will be 10 more students. And now also, since we know that 7 students are over here, J is even more further away. So K is between here. So let's redraw this actually. And let's also, K is nearer than M to the right end of the row. So that means that K is nearer than M to the right end of the row. That means M is to the left of K. So let's draw what we know till now. So we know that there are 15 students, then there is this M guy, then we don't know what comes over here. Then we know there is a J person, the J student. Then we know that after J, there is K. So we don't know how many students between J and K. Actually, we can figure that out since there are 15 students between J and L. So that means there is K over here, and then there are 7 students, and then there is the L. These both are 8. So 8 plus we need 7 more students. So 7 more over here. So there is J, 7 students, then there is K, then there is 7 more students, then there is L, then there are 10 more students, and then we reach the right end of the row. Now the last clue, there are 5 students between M and K. So between M and between K, there are 5 students, which is not possible in this arrangement since we know that if M is to the left of J, we can directly see that there are 6 students over here, right? So that means it the arrangement is something like there are 15 students between M. So J will have to be after M. So there is a M. Then after the M, there are 5 students. Then we have K, correct? And since we have since J and K have 7 students between them, there is one student more over here. So 1, 2, and 5, 7. Then there is J. And since M had 15 students over here, we know that these both are 2. So there are 13 more students. before the left end. And then after K, there we have 7 students. Then we have L. Then we have 10 more students. And finally, the right end. After going through all the clues, this is the final arrangement we can come up with. So let's try to answer the questions. Yeah, I guess this is students. So how many students between J and M? So between J and M, there is only one student. How far away is K from the right end of the row? So K from the right end of the row is, we have 10, 11, 16. So he is 17th from the right end of the row. How many students are there in the total? Let's just count this. So we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 29, 30, 40. So we have 40 students. And how far away is J from the right end of the row? So again, J from the right end of the row, he is 10, 11, 10, 11, 18, 19, 24, 25, 26. So he is 27th from the right end of the row. So we also have these kind of questions where you, instead of a single position, there are a lot of people, let's say a lot of students, and you only have some key students. So M, K, J, L, etc. And other ones you just have to keep a count of. So how many between this and this, how many between this and how many between this, etc. Okay, let's go to the next question. So now sometimes we have questions where we have to keep track of a lot of different things. So let's actually first get some gap over here before the questions. So in this, we can see that there are 6 picture cards in 6 different colors: blue, green, red, gray, yellow, and brown, arranged from left to right. So let's have 6 cards: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not necessarily in the same order. Okay. The cards hold the picture of a father, his wife, their son, their daughter, their cat, and the house. So there are 6 different colors. There are 6 different cards. So 6 different color frames, 6 different cards, and 6 different type of photos which the cards have on them. And we do we do not have too many clues as well. So let's see what all information we can deduce from these clues. It's okay if you do not have too many clues and you are not able to deduce the position and the color and the picture of every single card. That's okay, but you should be able to deduce as much data as possible to be able to answer the questions that follow. So let's also make the cards as a list over here so that we'll know what card holds what picture. So the picture of the house is in the blue colored frame, but not on the card S. So we know that there is a card which has the picture of, so this is the blue card. So we can write over here blue. So this is the blue card which has the picture of the house. But this is not on card S. So not on card S. Card P, which is of the wife. So now again we know one more card, which is card P, and this card is of the wife, is in the brown frame. So okay, we also know that this is in the brown, kind of brown, I guess. So this is, is brown. This one was blue. And we also know that this is P. This is the card P. And it is placed the extreme right. So over here. So here we have the card P. So now the picture of that daughter is neither on the card S nor on the card T. So we have a card with their daughter. So assume it's their daughter. Actually, let's just write this. So the card with that, so the picture of the daughter is not on the card S and also not on the card T, and is neither in green or the yellow frame. So okay, so this is also not green and also not yellow. Okay, this has much more colors. So this we know is blue, and this one is not yellow and not green. Card R has the picture of the father in a gray frame. So now, okay, we also got the card with the father. And this one is the card R. And here it has the picture of the father in a gray frame. Gray. Do we have gray color? Yes. So in the gray frame, we have the picture of the father on the card R. And is fifth from the right. Okay, so we have also the position. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So we have the R card over here from right and next to the Q card having the picture of their son. So Q card may be here, Q card may be here. We don't know. So, but it is next to the R card, next to the Q card having a picture of their son. So Q card has the picture of their son. So son is with the Q card. We do not know the color over here. So now if you look at this, we might think that this is all the information that we have. But since we also got a lot of information on which of the cards these are not and which of the colors these are not, we can also deduce a little more information. So for example, we know that the wife is the P card, which is gray. Then we know that the house card is the blue one, but it is not S. So we know that three of the colors have been currently used. So blue is used, brown is used, gray is used. So what is left? Red is left, and green is left, and also yellow is left. So son, daughter. Okay, so the card for their cat is also left. So let's draw the cat card, and we do not know what card it is. Right. So three of the colors have been used. So now for their daughter, we know that it is not green, it is also not yellow, and blue, brown, and gray has also been used. So the daughter's card must be red. So we know that the red daughter's card is red. For the son's card and for the cat's card, only two colors are left, which is the green and the yellow. So one of them is yellow and one of them is green, but we do not know which is which. So this may be yellow, this one may be yellow, or this one may be green and this one may be green. We are not sure. Now coming back to the cards themselves, we know that we have the P card, we have the R card, and we know what the Q card is. So three of the cards have been given, and we know that this is not S and this is also not T. So that means, and since there are, let's also write that as well here. So we know that we have P, Q. So we have six cards, P, Q, R, S, T, U. So now since we know that P is the wife's card, R is the father's card, and Q is the son's card. And since the daughter's card cannot be S and cannot be T, it must be the U card. right? And since the house card cannot be S, and now we have P, U, R, and Q over here, we know that house one is the T card. So this is the T card, and the only thing left, which is the S card, is for the cat. So now we know which card has which photo, and we know the colors for four of them, but we do not know the colors for the sun card and the cat card, and that's okay. This is all the information that we can deduce using only this much hints. Now coming to the questions. So question one is, if the daughter's card is immediately between the cards of the house and the sun, then at what number is the cat card's position from the left? So it says that if the daughter's card, which is the card U, is immediately between the cards of the house and the sun, so which is Q, and the sun and the house, which is T. So first of all, if that has to be the scenario, then Q cannot be over here, right? Then we assume that Q is over here, and the daughter's card U is immediately between that and the house's card. Then what number is the cat's card played from the left? So cat's card is S. So S has to be over here. So from the left, it has to be the first card. Which is the correct combination of card and color frames? T yellow. So is T yellow? No. U red. So this is correct. U is the daughter's card and it is also red. The picture of the cat in which is in which color frame? So cat's color frame is not clear from all the hints that we got. It might be green, it might be yellow. So we can say that the data is inadequate. This is also the correct answer a lot of the times, but you have to be sure that given the hints that we have, we can definitely not deduce what the color for this frame must be. Then again, the picture of the house is printed on which card? It is printed on the T card. We just saw that over here. Next question. If the photo frame of the sun and the cat is interchanged, then the color of the frame of the sun is. So now we know that since we do not know the colors for the picture frame of the sun or nor the cat, so even after they are interchanged, we do not know what the colors will be. So again, data inadequate. So this is a good example of a question where there is not a lot of data, but there is some data which can be deduced. But still, for a lot of questions, you have to identify that there is not enough data, and you might say that the data is inadequate. Now, but there can be questions where there is even less hints. So let's look at a question like that for now. So this is a question which has even fewer hints, but you have to be smart when saying when the data is actually inadequate and when you can deduce what the answer can be. So again, let's go and read the question. So let's read the question. A company is planning to organize 8 lectures A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H for 3 subjects math, science, and English. The lectures are spread over 3 days. So let's have day 1, let's have day 2, and day 3. Maths is to be covered in first 3 lectures, followed by English and then science in 2 lectures. So we know the order of the lectures must be maths, 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 followed by some English lectures, and then finally 2 lectures for science. And since there are 8 lectures in total, there will be 3 lectures for English as well. Lectures A, C, and D have to be different days. So now we know that lectures A, C, and D will have to be on different days. So not useful right away, but let's just keep that in mind. Lectures B and F have to be on the same day. So let's just write B and F as a group like this. So we remember that they have to be on the same day. But lecture E cannot be clubbed with A, D, A, G, or D. So now we know that lecture E does not go with any of these three lectures. So again, not immediately helpful, but let's go on reading more hints. So lecture G and H should come on the same day. So again, we have G and H on the same day. And we know lecture A is a lecture on maths and lecture C cannot be on the last day. So lecture C will not come on day 3 and lecture A is a lecture on maths. It is also known that there are at least 3 lectures on day 1. So now this is the most important hint. Even though it is given at the last, this is the hint we should consider first. Since we know that there are at least 3 lectures on A and there are only totally 3 lectures for maths. So all the lectures for maths are on day 1. And since A is also a lecture on maths, A has to be on day 1. So now that we know that A is on day 1, and since A, C, and D have to be on different days, and C cannot be on day 3, C has to be on day 2. And then that only leaves D to be on day 3. And coming to this hint over here, lecture E cannot be clubbed with A, G, or D. So since A and D are here, we know that lecture E will have to come with C. Correct. And since there are at least 3 lectures on day 1, either we have G and H over here, maybe, or we have B and F over here. And since uh, E is not clubbed with G as well, we cannot have any more lectures on day 2. And we have G, maybe G and H on day 3, if we have B and F on day 1, or we have B and F on day 3 if G and F are on day 1. So this is all the info that we can deduce from the hints. Let's see if we can solve the questions with this much data. Which of the following pairs of lectures can go along with lecture A on maths? So wording of these questions is also very important. It is asking us that which of this pair of lectures can go along. So it is not specifically which of these lectures is exactly on the same day as the lecture A on maths, but can possibly be on the same day. So B and C not possible at all since C is anyways not clubbed with A. D and E again not possible for the same reason since E is with C on the day 2. G and H, so it is possible. So again, we do not know for sure that G and H also go with day A, but it is still possible that G and H can be clubbed with day 1 and then we have B and F on day 3. So for this, the answer is B. G and F can be clubbed. So coming to the next question. Now, since we know that there are only 2 lectures on day 2, or maybe there can be 4 lectures on day 2, which is B and F also can be here possibly, since there is no hint specifically that forbids them from being with this, since E can club with B and F both. But since there is not enough lecture and uh, since there is not enough info and since B and F can be here as well and can be here as well, we are going to say none of the above. Or for a better phrasing, data inadequate. So we do not know which of them was on the second day. And anyways, if they would have been if this would have been the answer, it would also include F because BF and F has to be on the same day. So this one again also none of the above. So now coming to the next question, which of the following were lectures for science? So D and F. So we know where we have D over here and F can also be on day 3, but even if it is on day 3, we are not sure that it is for science, because even though science has the last 2 lectures and they might be last 2, but F can also be over here, right? There is no specific evidence that F is on day 3. Again, same for B and C. We do not know that B is on the same day as C or not. And if it is on the different day, they might both be for some different subjects. And again, same for the G and H. Even though G and H can be specifically for maths and not for science, but they can be the last two lectures as well, and they can be for science, but we are not sure. So this again is data inadequate. So that's all for today, guys. In the next video, we'll solve some more questions on linear arrangements and then we'll touch the topic of circular arrangements. So see you in the next video and thanks for watching.